What if most, or let's say almost every self-improvement book that you've read, maybe this year, in the past year, is actually bearing your true potential? Okay, that probably sounds provocative, right? Stay with me. We are so deeply conditioned to think of personal growth as this massive construction project. Find a vacant lot in your life, pour in the new foundation, and start building brand new. Supposedly a better version of yourself, brick by brick. More skills, more habits, waking up at 4 a.m. to, add that next morning routine. It's a whole cultural obsession with upgrading ourselves to, the next version, you 2.0. And there's the basic underlying assumption that we have a fundamental deficit. And it's like you and I are just like a blank slate that desperately needs, some sort of an external upgrade to just be deemed acceptable. And isn't that exhausting? So today I want to explore the philosophy behind what it means to discover and live your purpose. I'm looking at that entire construction site and I'm shutting it down. You don't need another self-help book, weekend course, or productivity hack. Okay, they all have their places. But when you're looking for purpose, what you actually need is a scraper. So let me explain what I mean. You're like, what the hell, scraper? What do you mean? So the journey of purpose discovery is actually about remembering who you truly are. That's the journey. Remembering. Notice this word. It's not strategizing a new self. It's not calculating a better personality. It's remembering. Because, we're living in this hustle culture and it's dictating one narrative. You aren't enough yet. That you have to become someone someone impressive by some sheer force of will. But remembering is implying that there is a masterpiece already finished. The masterpiece is finished. Picture restoring, an antique piece of furniture. How many of us would take a beautifully crafted 200-year-old mahogany, dresser and just slather on a thick coat of pink neon paint just to make it better? I mean, at least from my view, you would ruin that thing. Instead, you would probably take some chemicals and a scraper, and you would painstakingly scrape away decades of bad paint jobs, cheap varnish, and grime. You're trying to reveal the original wood work underneath, which was there all along. And this is what purpose discovery actually is. Not building a new you, remembering who you are before the world told you who you are, before they gave you the labels, before they gave you the name, before they told you you were not enough, right? So you must be thinking now, well, hang on a second, isn't unlearning actually harder than learning something new? Yes, absolutely. It's difficult. Because learning is essentially like stacking blocks one on top of the other. You're adding something new, but stripping away paint or stripping away a layer is really already entails letting go of things that have probably helped you survive. And there are layers of survival mechanisms. Sure, they are useful. They have their place. I'm not talking just purely bad habits. I'm really talking about survival mechanisms. So for instance, I was used to be, maybe there's still an element of it left, but it's much, much softer. a people-pleasing persona, and maybe I picked this up in middle school or in early years because I went to a boarding school and I really wanted to fit in. And in order to fit in, I wanted to do whatever everyone else said to me. And that continued through my work life as well. Or, you could have like developed a very hyper competitive edge because your first boss was, ruthless. Like, get this done no matter the detail, no matter the hook or crook, anyway, just make sure it gets done. And whoever got it done, no matter what, was rewarded, right? So you develop this kind of thing. Or you're wearing a mask in meetings because you feel, hey, if I really said this, I really asked the question, or I thought, or I think about something and I have an idea, then it's going to get shut down. And that vulnerability makes it feel kind of dangerous. These are the layers that are keeping us safe. So when you grab that scraper, when I grab that scraper, we are dismantling our own armor a little bit. Perhaps you're someone, like many people today, who's just checked out at work. I mean, you're going in there, you're just going through the motions, you're doing the bare minimum, you're nodding along in the meetings, and the original you is deeply disengaged. But actually, the original you is a very engaged and creative being when it's connected to something real, when it's connected to something that has meaning, that has purpose. And unlearning means sitting in a Tuesday morning meeting and actually speaking up with your real perspective, enduring that discomfort, instead of just staying quiet and collecting your paycheck. It feels dangerous, perhaps even physically dangerous. And this is why I use the word embody when I talk about this work, right? So purpose discovery is not some intellectual, mental puzzle that you solve in your head. Embodying means bringing that original, unarmored self into your physical reality, allowing what's inside you to emerge and become physically kind of expressed. And be it into traffic jams, be it into tense conversations with your partner, be it into that Tuesday morning meeting. It can be terrifying, but I would say it's completely necessary. So let's say you are enduring this. You're starting to scrape off the paint. You're looking at bits of the raw mahogany coming out. So what really is happening, right? And how does this translate into practicality? So some examples I've noticed in my own life, for example, I stopped dreading Sunday evenings, like the Sunday night dread. Oh my God, Monday next morning, I've got to go to work. That pit in your stomach when you start to think about Monday morning is beginning to fade. And then I'm making decisions with much more clarity instead of second guessing things, because that voice that used to say, but what if you're wrong? It's still there, but it's not as loud. The voice of soul is much, much stronger now. And I'm able to follow the intuition and see many beautiful results coming out of that. I'm able to set boundaries that I never did before. I'm able to say no without guilt. I'm able to say yes without resentment because I'm feeling really aligned with my purpose. And then, you really begin to show up as the person, the version of your true self, not as the version that people want you to be. And very interestingly, I've seen this in my own life. People connect with the version of me honestly, more deeply, not less. They want that person in the end. And then this performance exhaustion, oh my God, I've got to be this person, and it's starting to lift. You're trying to instead of managing your image, you just be, and then the image is just who you are. Perhaps you're a leader, and your team is not giving you new ideas. Now the team starts bringing you better ideas because they can sense, hey, this person is withholding judgment. They can handle the truth, and they can actually make space for our ideas. Perhaps you're not leading yet, but now you stop waiting for permission to contribute your unique perspective. So this is what happened to me as well. Whether the contribution gets accepted or not is irrelevant. This boldness arises in you that you can say, yeah, here's what I think and here's why I think it makes sense. It's okay if it's, people have a different opinion, but that boldness arises in you, which then leads on to many other things. What about when it comes to your career? Now there's a whole space around personal branding. It's a big topic at this point in time. And I'm saying rather than trying to snap on a personal brand, set the authentic foundation first. Find out the purpose first. Then let your personal brand emerge as a result on top of that. Not manufactured, but expression of who you truly are. What if you could determine your next career move with this? What a place of clarity it would give you to determine that career move. Not from fear, not from obligation, not copy pasting something that you see someone else do, or not from what looks good on paper, or not what's earning the most money, but what actually aligns in your soul. This is something, a different way to be, a different space to be in. Now, the real shift happens is, and I've seen this in my own life, moving from I need to become someone impressive, to remembering who am I really. Excuse me. And that shift from construction to remembering is what changes everything. So here's my invitation: a 6 months experiential journey to discover and live your purpose in this lifetime. Not by escaping your career, but by bringing your soul into your actual life. Sure, it may lead to career change. I'm not saying it won't or it will. But now you can empower the world in unimagined ways. You and I have so much potential locked within us at our soul level, at our deeper purpose level, that we're not even exposing ourselves to all that possibility. And that's why I say unimagined ways. You don't know, I don't know the extent to which we can empower. Now, of course, you may be thinking, wow, empower the world. Dude, this has gone like quite a lot there, and you're putting a lot of pressure on me at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out my next career move, whether I should buy that apartment or not. So, what the hell? Well, here's a relief, okay? You don't have to figure out how to empower the world. That's not your job. Let's think about the bee, right? The honeybee. So, I don't think any bee wakes up in the morning going, oh my God, I got to really, save the global food supply today. I've got to attend that seminar on cross-pollination. Otherwise, everything's going to go haywire. No, I don't think any bee is doing those things. The bee is just waking up in the morning and doing bee stuff. I'm not a bee, but I reckon this is what it is. The bee is simply embodying its original nature. And by authentically executing its original nature, its original micro function, if you like, the macrocosm, the world, is empowered, right? And I'm going to say something here. You're exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. You just have to embody your unique purpose. I have to embody my unique purpose, and the impact happens naturally. So, in essence, the being is the doing. So how does this unfold? Now, I'm offering a 6 months experiential journey, not a weekend, workshop, not a 6 weeks course, 6 months. Why 6 months? Because experiences don't happen overnight. It's an evolutionary process. Remember, you're working with decades of conditioning that you're trying to kind of scrape off, right? Or at least explore and see. Now, what will we do in that 6 months? We'll explore a collection of soul-searching technologies and practice that will help you reconnect with your soul. You'll try different approaches. Some will resonate deeply, some will not resonate at all, and that's just part of the process, right? And that's perfect, because you're really learning to dial in to the frequency of your soul. And again, I love this quote, Naval Ravikant. He says, the only thing that no one can beat you at is being you. No one can beat you at being you. How cool is that? That's why the purpose discovery thing is so fantastic. So why not find out who you are and be you? I'll make a slight shift here and talk about leadership. Now, imagine, you're operating as an authentic bee. You're inevitably going to run into other bees, bump into other bees. So how does this scale when you kind of introduce other people, right? So I'm talking to leaders out there. Now, people in the workplace today are really looking for conscious leaders, authentic leaders, human leaders. And I work with leaders to to awaken this consciousness, to awaken this authenticity, to awaken this humanity in them so that they can inspire. You as leader can inspire creative and purpose-driven teams. So, you as a leader, think of yourself as a symphony conductor. The way you conduct that symphony is only as good as how authentically you understand the music that you're supposed to be playing. Now, again, you're going to ask me, hey, what does conscious, authentic leadership have anything to do with the team being creative, right? Now, think about this. When you as a leader operate from your original self, when you've worked on taking down the layers, you're removing this corporate artifice, and you're taking off this invincible, boss mask. You're stopping to pretend that you know everything. What does this do? This is going to create a ton of unprecedented psychological safety. Because let's think about it, creativity is inherently a risk, right? Why is it a risk? Because to be creative, someone has to pitch an idea that may not land. So they're really risking their, reputation, their emotions, and all these things, and maybe being embarrassed and being ridiculed. But when you as a leader offer this, the ability of creativity begins to emerge, right? Because imagine if you're inauthentic, if you're defensive, if you are guarding your ego, the team's entire nervous system is sensing danger. So they're going to play it safe. You guys will all survive the concert, but you're not going to be making art, right? That's what really is emerging here, art. So when the leader is authentic, when they say, hey, I messed this up, how do we fix this? Or, hey, I have some ideas about how this could work out, but what do you guys think? What do you think? That unblocks the team's creativity, and that let me say this again. The authenticity of the leader is the soil of the team's innovation. So, yes, am I going against a lot of standard, or not going against, I'm going to say I'm taking another angle to the whole management training, right? And I'm saying that the job of the leader, the primary job of the leader is to do your own internal work first. Strip off that varnish so your team feels it's safe to do the same. So in this way, the internal work of the leader is the operational strategy of the team. Now you must be wondering, okay, look, I've tried therapy, I've tried coaching, I've read the books, I've done the workshops, and I deeply respect therapy, coaching. They all have their places, their essential modalities, and many people can work with this. And what I'm saying is that the purpose guiding work is not purpose guiding or therapy or coaching. I'm saying it is an and, right? Therapy, again, when you're dealing with trauma, when you're dealing with mental health issues, this is something that I don't touch at all. Coaching, maybe when you realize what you really want and you want help in getting there and kind of unblocking what's holding you back from getting there, and determining modalities of how to make that work out. Self-help books, again, are providing you beautiful frameworks, a lot of information. I can read 50 books on swimming. If I don't jump in the pool, I would have it like mentally here, but not experiential, not practicing in real life. And it's only in the practice of swimming that I actually understand the concept and I can apply the concepts. And again, I have nothing against weekend workshops. I do a few of them, but they are like just powerful moments. You listen to this guy talking like, wow, amazing, so inspirational. I totally agree with what he's saying. Then you walk away and your whole life implodes because you feel two things happen, right? One is you begin to feel guilty for not keeping up with all those commitments you made. Two is your environment around you is just going to squash all of that, and it's really hard for you to kind of keep that momentum. So 6 months of purpose discovery work gives you enough time for your nervous system to kind of rewire, to integrate, and to have some sense of permanency beginning to emerge in the practices, right? So the program is not just it's not just informational, it's experiential. You're practicing in real life. You're bringing your purpose to the Tuesday meeting, to the difficult conversation, the decision you've been avoiding. This is a 6 months. It's not a weekend, long enough for you to rewire, right? And long enough for your social system to kind of adjust. And it's in community. It's with other people who are also holding scrapers. They're also coming to do the work, and they want to do this work together, right? So that when the normal world starts to push back against you, you have this beautiful 6 month container with these people that says, hey, you're not crazy, keep going, we're all scraping away, come join us scraping, keep at it. So what I would like to say is that even though this is an inward journey and the original self is already inside you, you must be wondering, why do I need this program, right? So you could sit on your couch, but I've done this before. How many times have you sat on your couch and it took really a long time for something to work out, you to work through something, actually fix the modalities, or to even feel that something is working, right? Versus when you go to the gym, right? So what I'm saying is that this program is like the gym. It's like the external scaffolding. The gym is not bringing the muscles. You are bringing the muscle. It's your muscle. But the gym gives you the environment to kind of exercise and work through that muscle, so that then you have this chance to kind of see the experience the transformation in this space. Okay, so in conclusion, here's where we are. You're successful on paper. You feel hollow inside. Maybe you're fully checked out at work and you're like, man, this life is just kind of meaningless. It's just a boring humdrum of activity. You've maybe tried some books. You've maybe tried some coaching. You've tried some workshops. But they seem to leave you more depleted than making you feeling fulfilled. So I'm inviting again, 6 months, purpose discovery journey, small, intimate group, maximum 12 to 15 people, a sacred container where you can just strip away the paint without your whole world needing to fall apart, right? What do you get? Experiential practices, not just information. A community of people also going through the same work as you. 6 months, enough time for transformation to do its work on you, for you to practice, and guidance from someone who's walked this path and who has led many others through it. Imagine you're 60, you're 70, you're 80 years old, and close to dropping this body shell, as they say in India, and you realize, damn it, I could have done so much more in alignment with my soul. So why wait? As the poet Mary Oliver says, what will you do with this one wild and precious life? If your true purpose isn't something that you have to magically invent, but rather something you have to remember, here's 2 questions. What parts of your current daily routine belong to the original you? Think about it, write it down. And what parts are just layers of old paint waiting to be stripped away? If you're ready to find out, there's links in the description below. Every month, I hold a free introduction to purpose discovery. It's a 90-minute, you get a taste, a teaser, a view of what is this journey about. You get to meet others who are also seeking. And then you can register for that one via the link below. The party, as I always say, the party is happening either way. If you join, it's going to be a blast, going to have fun. If you don't join, it's still going to be a blast and going to have fun. Grab your scraper, join me. Much gratitude for you taking time to watch this. And if it resonates with you, beautiful, join me. If it doesn't resonate with you, and perhaps you think someone comes to mind that, oh, I think this person would really benefit from this information, from a program like this, please do share this video with them. Like I say, I don't care about subscribes, likes, all of that. I am very interested in people who want to do this work. That's the people I'm interested in, right? So share it with those who are really interested to do this work. If you want to do this work, come and join me. It's going to be a blast. Namaste.